Hey, what's up everybody? It's Alex Anselme here with Anselme Tennis. Today I'm going to share with you a drill that I was really lucky to be able to do as a kid, which really helped me develop into a strong tennis player, and that I just don't see enough of, I think, today in the tennis community, in the teaching world. And even though this is something that dates back maybe to the 90s and even in the 80s for some players, it's something that I still feel like has a lot of value today and still really hits on the cores of what you need to do to be a good tennis player. So to the point, the one drill that I would really do that can really make a difference for you in your life is 20 at the baseline, okay? Otherwise known as the Lansdorp 20 at the baseline for the famous coach Robert Lansdorp, or maybe not as famous as he should be, at least in my opinion. For anybody who doesn't know, Robert Lansdorp developed and trained players such as Pete Sampras, Tracy Austin, Lindsay, Davenport, Maria Sharapova. Those are, number one players, Grand Slam winners and stuff like that. And the list goes on and on in terms of how many players he's really developed and bring to the pro level. So Robert Lansdorp, obviously a huge developer of tennis players coming from Southern California, and has helped a lot of people tremendously. Yet I don't really see his style of teaching very many other places. Maybe people just don't know about it enough, or I don't know. But I just thought I'd share it with you, okay? So the drill is really simple. We'll try and illustrate it for you and stuff so that you can see what it is, but it's 20 at the baseline, okay? That's 20 balls left and right to the baseline. Now, there's obviously, the drill in itself is really simple. This is what makes the drill so great too, is that you can really tweak it to your level and figure out what you need to do to get the benefit from it, okay? I'm going to explain it to you how it's done at the highest of levels, the way that I experienced it and the way that I saw it done. The way I saw players, I watched Maria Sharapova do this exercise. I've trained with her a little bit when I was in Southern California, and we were at the Lansdorp Ducasse Tennis Academy at Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades. Robert Lansdorp, along with a French coach, François Ducasse, formed an academy for a few years down there, had a lot of great players. And Maria was there as well for a good part of that. So I'm going to tell you how it is at the highest of levels, and then maybe explain to you how you can work your way up to it, okay? So 20 at the baseline, at the highest of levels, when Robert's on your court and he's watching you, and it's the end of the 3-hour practice session, and all the parents are showing up to come pick up their kids, and you got 15-20 minutes left on the clock. Everybody starts their set at 20 at the baseline, which is 20 balls left and right, but you're basically sprinting to every single ball. Okay, it's a very difficult ball to run down to. You're happy to get your racket on the ball, basically. So this does require, even though the drill is kind of simple, it does require a coach who's pretty accurate at feeding, who can judge the tempo, the speed of the feed and everything. Overall, it just needs to be pretty hard though, okay? I mean, Robert, when he used to send it to you, he hits the ball with this kind of flat slap at the ball that lands this far from the baseline, stays low, you have to take it off the bounce. It's very, very difficult balls, and you have to run very fast, okay? And at the highest of levels, you've got to make 20 balls in a row into the court without missing, without the service box. So if you kind of get, pushy and, oh, I'm just going to make it kind of thing, and your ball lands short, no, that counts as an error. You start again at 0, okay? So you start again at 0. So you can imagine that if you don't hit the drill like on that first time, you know that physically you're going to get challenged, because you're going to get to 14, 15, oh, you missed number 16, start again at 0. Already at 14 and 15, your legs are burning, your lungs are screaming at you. Your body needs oxygen, and you have to start a new set again of 20 at the baseline, 20 in a row, past the service line without missing. Missing is not the end of the world. You just have to start over again at 0. So it's very difficult, but it's not the end of the world. The thing you don't want to do is not run after a ball. If, God forbid, you let the ball bounce 2 times on your side of the court, everybody put their racket down. We jogged on the spot for anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes while Robert basically let us have it and know how it's unacceptable to let the ball bounce twice, and then you got back with your racket and got back onto it, okay? So that's how you do the drill at the highest of levels. Obviously, you're not just going to come out and do 20 at the baseline and bam, nail 20 balls, super tough balls in a row past the service line, and make that. So there are ways to kind of work your way up to that, okay? You could start Now 20 at the baseline is the ultimate, but the typical, also Robert Lansdorp way of doing it was to do a set of 10, a set of 15, a set of 20, a set of 15, and then a set of 10. So there's a way of just going through that cycle, just doing the 10 balls, doing the 15 balls, doing the 20 balls, doing the 15, doing the 10, even if you miss, right? Just building up the capacity at first so that you can physically kind of take the challenge on. And with the practice, eventually learn to make fewer and fewer mistakes until you get to that point where you do make 20 in a row, past the service line off of balls that are coming at you, basically equivalent to what like a top 100 tennis player in the world would be sending at you. And you can work your way up to that, okay? Work your way up into doing just sets of 10 sets of 10 until you do 100 balls, okay? Do 5 sets of 20 if you want. 100 balls, anywhere from 30 seconds to 1 minute rest in between each set. Do it where if you miss, you go down 1 instead of starting back at 0, for example, or if you miss, you go down 2 or down 5. So there's all sorts of ways you can get creative and imaginative with it to kind of find where you are in terms of your level, and then little by little kind of work your way up to that point where you can get 20 in a row past the service line without missing. And I can tell you that why is this drill so effective? Because if you try this the right way, with somebody who really knows how to feed you the ball, challenge you the right way, you're going to see that it's very, very difficult. And at first, you're going to approach the drill and be kind of like scared of it, apprehensive and everything. But when you stick with it and you get to that point where you know, all the parents are there and everything, and you know it's your turn to do the 20 at the baseline, and they send 20 at you, and you nail that 20, and maybe you miss once, but you nail it on the next one, and you're even kind of going like, come on, bring me some more. I can tell you that when you reach that point, there's not many other tennis players on the other side of the court who are going to intimidate you or scare you or anything like that. So that's a huge advantage, because a lot of tennis matches are lost almost before the match is even played, because you have a lot of respect for the guy or the girl, or you're very intimidated by them. When you do this drill, nothing really scares you anymore. Okay? You know that it doesn't matter, even if you lose the match, it doesn't matter how good the other person is on the other side of the court, you know that you're basically not going to suffer as badly as you have in that drill. And believe me, I have seen suffering from this drill. I've seen vomit on the court, I've seen tears, I've seen rackets thrown, broken, I've seen people walk off the court, quit tennis from this. So it really will challenge you physically, mentally, emotionally, technically as well. You need to be pretty solid from the ground to be able to make those 20 in a row without missing. And that's the way to do it. Okay, so I thought I'd share that just because again, I know that's something I've experienced personally, and that I think is still effective even today, even though tennis has evolved quite a bit. Lots of players can use this and do it. A lot of times we think that nowadays there's all these scientific methods and all these fancy new drills and exercises that are clearly, you know, very imaginative and creative and intelligent, that are actually focused on something very particular. But in my opinion, the Lansdorp 20 at the baseline is just as good today as it was 20, 30 years ago. For guys, you know, Pete Sampras did this drill, and Sharapova and Davenport, and you can, all right, the list goes on and on. So give it a shot. Let me know if you have any questions or any more details about the drill, maybe in the comments, ways to work up to it, ways to find out where you are, how many you're gonna do. Get in touch with like a training program to find out, you know, how can you work your way up maybe to get to that point where you can make 20 in a row from the baseline, past the service line, without missing, off of tough shots. There are ways to kind of work your way up, and depending on where you're at with things and everything like that. Okay? So anyway, I hope that drill helps, and go ahead and give it a try. Let me know how you guys experience it. And I think Robert's still in Southern California giving lessons. Look him up and go out and try it for yourself. Ask him for a little taste of the 20 at the baseline. You'll see what it's like. All right? Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.